All right, welcome back, everybody, to NXL Cincinnati 2025 here at Event 3. I'm Matt Falby. I am joined by Rob. Rob, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Rob Moore from Kinetic Paintball. Beautiful weekend. Could not ask for better weather. Super happy to be here, and thanks for bringing me up.
It is truly a beautiful weather. If you are here and you want to enjoy Kinetic, I think you guys have a booth.
No booth,
No?
but our products are at a couple of different retailers, Punishers, Masons, and we're doing some stuff with Hydra.
All right, then, if you're here, feel free to wander through staging area stealing Kinetic product. I think there's a hit on the back of that player going into the snake inside wedge.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfpack losing an early body off the break. It's the same thing with Shut Up, we're trying, but it looks like Wolfpack has taken a big presence in that center, trying to lock down the snake side. I mean, I think they're going to have a guy just kind of sitting there for most, just holding that zone, letting their Dorito player trying to go to work a little bit.
Shut Up, where the trying has pushed up the middle of this brick. This is a very popular play on this layout.
Yeah, I mean, it really covers that whole zone on the snake side from really being able to apply pressure, and it seems relatively easy to get up as long as you stay low.
Yeah, it's a fairly easy take. There's a whole bunch of reasons why pushing the Dorito side is tough on this field. That is one of them.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine on that one. So what's interesting here is to see both of them already lost an early body and how they start playing it out. It looks like Shut Up We're Trying is trying to play a little bit more conservative with that body up the center, while Wolfpack is trying to really start putting some pressure on Shut Up We're Trying to try to spread the field a little bit more, take the advantage of gaining a little bit more ground early on.
Well, good and bad news for Wolfpack. Bad news is they just lost their home player. However, they did manage to get to the inside of that that snake wedge. Shut Up We're Trying picks up on it. He's going to the tower. This is a risky play.
Yeah. Oh, no, and Wolfpack lost their center player. That was the guy that he needed to shoot the tower player. And here goes Shut Up We're Trying, try to make more moves of the field. Yeah.
Counter move.
Yep.
Right to an empty bunker, however. He's just going to lose his life for nothing.
I mean, you're down so many bodies, you gotta start putting things together. Especially try to take a little bit of advantage to start pulling some of the other bodies from Shut Up We're Trying off the field. So all in all, I mean, you're that far up, you can't just sit there. You can't just wait for them to come to you. Like, you got to start putting some pressure on somewhere and start causing some chaos.
Well, good opening point by Shut Up We're Trying. I will take a quick moment to shout out Wolfpack for nothing else than coming up and reffing our local league in Massachusetts, our NEXL, and they're doing an excellent job up there. So thank you to Wolfpack for that. Go back to your pit, try to come up with a solution.
Yeah. Up next, we got Shock and I believe Murdagoons out here from Florida. Both teams from Florida.
I love the Murdagoons name.
Yeah. I think they both play out of CFP as well.
Why is it that you travel halfway across the country for a tournament and you always end up playing local teams?
I mean, I'd like to say scheduling issues, but I think they do it on purpose at this point.
It's every time.
Yeah.
All right, Shock doubled up at home, 5 alive.
Yeah, they're taking the wide body as well. Murdagoons losing a body off the snake side, losing another body going to the can. Yep, there he is. It's pulled off, but they also take the center as well. 3 on 5, Shock playing conservative, taking that big bite up the center. Exactly what he needs to be doing, looking to lock down that Dorito side zone. I mean, they're just walking up the field at this point.
Yeah, they've gone bloodlust mode, and that's it. Goons have seen enough. They're going to concede out of that one.
I mean, they played that well. They took one chance of their snake guy getting out wide. They were able to get not just one, but 2 early kills out of the back, and it just opened up the field for them.
Yeah, that really set those 2 early kills completely set the tone for that one.
And it hurts to be in that situation if I'm Murdagoons, especially if you have that center bunker. Like, you're left on you're already on an island, and then you're put on even more of an island there.
And your alternate, you losing 2 snake eyes, you've lost your best conduit to push up field. So the easiest push up field on this one is up the middle to these bricks. You can almost run from home straight there with really not a lot of risk, almost at any point in the game. Snake side is the next most common side to push this field. Dorito side is a really hard push, right? So every one of these Dorito bumps, you have to be your own. Oh my God, Shut Up, we're trying so late to the box.
Does he make it?
No. He's not going to make it. He's going to get yanked.
And there's one.
No penalty, though.
Yep, 5 on 4. This puts Wolfpack in a great position to get that punchback point. And they're taking phenomenal ground up the center and up on the snake side, exactly where they need to be. So, but what I like to see out of them, it is a controlled aggression. They see the opening, they take it, but they're not forcing moves to just try to do more.
Nothing reckless, which I will say Shut Up We're Trying was a little reckless on the close that last point. Still worked out for them. Wolfpack, you're right. They're being much more controlled and methodical in their bumps. They're now up to D2, which again is a hard bump. It's hard to push up that Dorito side.
Yeah, and what I love seeing out of him, he's staying in the bunker, he's staying alive, he's not forcing anything, he's taking a breath, he's communicating with his team. Oh no, Wolfpack losing their center player.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking around, he was doing what he needed to do to try to figure out where the bodies were since he was just holding that zone, but it was just a little lackadaisical. But it looks like Shut Up We're Trying is losing their snake player, another key kill, so it's going to be a 4-on-2 for Wolfpack. So with the bodies up and they're taking ground advantage, they really need to start putting together. I'm only hearing kill 1 right now, so I don't think they realize that they got a second kill. So they need to start putting that together and realize that it's a 4-on-3 and starting to go to work a little bit more.
Hey, a team losing the kill count is basically standard operating practice for most teams.
Yeah, I mean,
Not good, but pretty standard.
It happens, especially if it's an early kill. You miss the guy walking off the field. But you got to make sure that you have that one guy watching the sidelines and just kind of peeking over to make sure that you can get those, those kill confirms.
So Wolfpack resets. They take that middle brick once again. Again, as we were saying, that middle brick is not that hard to take. From
I mean, it looks like he's looking to make a move. There it is.
There it is.
Taking a little bit more ground.
He could drop and crawl here to the other team's snake wedge. That's well within his possibility.
But is it a necessary risk is the question.
He thinks so, because there he goes.
Yep, there it is.
He's
so, I
off
mean,
the
Shut Up
races.
We're Trying are in those back 3 center bunkers. I mean, it puts him in a great place. He just needs to play that wedge right. Like, he's gonna get that. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
There's
Home
that
is
easy
next.
kill. Start to wrap. He's got to... Wolfpack lost their Dorito side player, so he needs to start working the outside. But, yep, Shut Up We're Trying going up the middle and losing that middle body and then going over to Snake.
Snake is the last player.
I mean, it is 3-on-1. Play it slow. Play controlled. Make sure you know the body count. You know what I mean? And just make sure you get the point. There's a lot of time on the clock to play more points. There's no need to rush this closeout and potentially get a penalty. Yep, there it is. Controlled, methodical. That's what we like to see.
For Shut Up We're Trying, nothing went right there from the very moment. Before the point actually started, they had a player late to the box, and even the players that did get to the box, they're starting the game absolutely in panic mode.
Yeah.
So really, that was if anything, that was a loss from an organization standpoint, not having your guys ready to get on the field at the right time and be at the box, calm down, ready to play their game.
And to really piggyback off of that panic mode is like when you have that early loss because somebody touched up to the box, your game plan kind of falls apart because what is his job? Is he in a key bunker? What zone are we now giving up? Are we so that it opens up some of the field for Wolfpack to kind of make a bigger move that realistically shouldn't have been able to be made.
Now, I don't think Wolfpack was aware of that player not making it to the box.
I don't think so either. Yeah. That's why when the second guy came off, we heard kill 1. I don't think they saw the first guy walk off. And I really think that they didn't see the first guy walk off because they took such a big bite coming out wide and then coming up the center. They missed the guy coming out.
They're running heads down instead of looking up and seeing a body.
Well, not just heads down, but the center guy is looking heads up to try to catch the inside guy. So, but here we go. Murdagoons also going up the center and taking that like mini W and starting to work wide. We got a ref running in. I mean, he's in there real tight. Should be clean. And they shoot a shock player. If he's clean, oh, nice for Murdagoons. He's clean, and now he's able to go to work.
Going to get into that inside wedge.
So the only thing here is that with the delayed bump to the wedge is that if I'm Shock, I don't know when he's going up because you can't see it. There's no way to see it. The only way you're going to start seeing it is once you start seeing the paint come out that way.
The middle section of this field, there's a lot of bunkers you can move to that are essentially invisible bumps.
Yeah.
The other team, like you said, won't know about it until you start shooting a stream out of it.
So it seems, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, that wedge in the snake is really a place to hold his own. So he's definitely going to be shooting. It's not like he's waiting and hunting for something. And Murdagoons losing their back center, and then their back snake player and their center their center player, and they're going to lose the wedge.
Yeah, the Shock Snake, now Dorito side player, just destroyed them. Absolutely wrecked house. I think it was 3 kills in a span of about 5 seconds there.
Yep.
And now that last Goon player in an awful
I mean,
bunker.
it just fell apart for Murdagoons.
Wow, what a closeout for Shock.
So now the question here that I have for you is it mistakes made by Murdagoons that allowed that to happen, or is it the paintball IQ and awareness out of Shock to make the moves?
I think it's both. I think you have to give more credit for Shock for having the paintball awareness to make that move. But for the Goons, they completely missed that move up the Shock Snake, then Dorito side, completely missed it, and he just went to town on him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a combination too. But if I got to give credit, I got to give more credit to the Shock player to recognizing it.
That's fair, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So it looks like Show We're Trying is coming out with 5 bodies. Great to see that.
And on time.
Yep.
Also good to see.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're now back at 0-0 essentially.
Yep.
And I'd like to see how these guys fight it out.
I think we're doubled up at home for tripled up at home for Shut Up We're
Yeah,
Trying.
and Wolfpack was sitting in that dead zone in the back center and then going up the middle, but they lose an early body on the Snake side, trying to get that fill out to the can. Is he alive? Yep. Ref is looking at him, and he's running in. Oh no. We might have some trouble here.
Yeah, I saw Ref reaching for his flag as he runs in. That's never great. Nope.
No, and running away. He's clean. So it's great to see that, just to take a chance. But we got Shut Up We're Trying also getting checked out, called clean. And in the chaos, Shut Up We're Trying is able to make that big move up the center and be in a great spot in the Snake to kind of hold these cross zones. So the only thing that's going to be tough here is that Wolfpack is really across the back line, and I believe they're in that center brick. So your center player is on an island just holding that zone, and you just gotta have to hope and pray and trust in your teammates to really start grinding out some of these players.
Desperately get an advantage back. Wolfpack goes into the Snake during that moment. However, they're going to lose their home.
Yep,
Yeah, and
in
there's
the
gonna be a
pack,
flag
and
on
it's
it.
oh no.
For Wolfpack, that's gutting.
I mean, it looks like he was shot in the pack in a pod where, I mean, you're not going to feel that. And honestly, that's more unfortunate than it is on him.
Yeah, again, if you're listening at home and you're not currently a tournament player and you don't understand the flag system, getting a flag doesn't mean you were trying to cheat. Sometimes you've got a hit you're not aware of, and that is going to be a penalty. That doesn't mean that you were trying to cheat.
Great move by Shut Up We're Trying, but the thing is he clean? Nope, he's out.
No,
Okay,
he's
so
out.
it's a trade. It's great for Wolfpack, but it's still a 4-on-1. Yep, and he's in that Snake one. He's going to get clipped out.
Snake. Wolfpack takes a walk. Shut Up We're Trying should easily win this point.
Well, that's kill 5.
Yeah. They just need to walk it in.
All right,
Wolfpack.
good concede. Save the time. There's plenty of time left to kind of go back and forth with this.
So I'm going to go back to what I was talking about a second. I always try to take a moment to actually, since we got on the screen, you want to talk about your jerseys?
Yeah, we do fully customized jerseys for our teams and for any customers that are reaching out. Our design team is fantastic. Can't love them enough. Our design process is usually pretty quick. Usually our first rendering is in about somewhere between a week to 10 days if we're kind of backed up. But we really take a long time with the intake process of, what do you like? Are there any references to any jerseys that you like? Any patterns that you want to incorporate? So the pre-production part of it is a little bit longer, but we really want to make sure that on the first try, we're trying to get it like nail on the head.
Hey, make sure you tell the production design team you love them.
Uh,
Don't just
every
say
day.
it on air, actually.
Every day. Every day.
Make eye contact, too. All right. Here we go.
So Shock losing an early body out on the Dorito side, and it looks like Murdagoons is pretty deep into the Snake, and Shock is able to get deep into the Snake as well to match up. So, but it's 5-on-4, I believe, for Murdagoons right now. So the question here is, like, where do they see the advantage that they can start taking pressure? And it looks like it's going to be from that Snake.
That was worst possible kill for Shock. Losing their mini Dorito means their Dorito side is completely wide open, which gives the Snake side more room to breathe.
Yeah, but it's going to open up the doors for Murdagoons to start making that bump into, what is that, a wedge over there from the Dorito?
They could go into the inside wedge or to the Dorito or up to that 50 wedge.
So, I mean, ball is in the Snake player's court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to be able to make the pressure, and it looks like Shock, they're putting, I believe that is Thomas Taylor to kind of hold off that zone, and Shock loses another
Oh,
player.
I do not like this. The decision by the Shock player from the can to drop into the snake. He needed to spread the field a little bit wide. Instead, he bunched it up even more with their last 2 players.
So while I understand what you're saying there, being able to be in a pretty good place to connect with your teammate and have clear communication
True.
and talk back and forth, I mean, it goes leaps and bounds for what you're able to do when you're playing defense. But you got to stay close, and there it is. That's the loss. Oh, and he
All right,
clips
that's a
him.
kill.
It's not a trade, but close enough. I mean, that's the kill that he really needed to get.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you're goons, you're fine with trades because you're up on bodies, so you'll do trades
absolutely,
all day
and
long.
Shock gets another kill. I believe. What is that? Out of the center? No, the center guy is in, but he killed the Dorito side player.
I don't think Taylor's aware of the count. He doesn't know that he's lost all of his teammates.
No,
'cause
but Murdagoons, if I'm smart, I'm just going to go hit the buzzer.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
The buzzer right off the bunker. So unfortunately for Thomas Taylor, I think he was unaware that he was the last player left alive. He was calling out codes to teammates that didn't exist.
So, but that's the thing is sometimes you want to do that so
To
that
trick
if they
the other team.
exactly
Yeah,
if they lose the body. But the thing
Yeah.
is, he lost their snake side player and just let them walk in.
Yeah.
That's something like if you know that you're alone and you don't know the body count, you gotta play as much as you want to play offense, and it's great. He got a kill. I believe he was about to get another kill. He didn't recognize that he had to play defense to make sure they don't hit the buzzer. Kills do not win games.
The
Buzzers
Yep.
win games. So
And teams that sign up for the Kinetic program also win games.
yes, absolutely. We have teams winning across the country, and we love to do that. And the big thing about our team program is that we do have a true cash contingency program. You're not getting store credit. It's not a comp of products. I want to put cash in your hand, whether it's on the podium or sending a PayPal to you.
All right, here we go. Shut up, we're trying versus Wolfpack. Wolfpack with a very conservative breakout.
I mean, you got to make sure that you keep a body alive.
1 down for Shut Up, We're Trying. So 5-on-4 advantage, Wolfpack.
Love to see that. So it looks like
5-on-3 advantage. 2 Shut Up, We're Trying players walking off.
I mean, it looks like conservative is where Wolfpack needs to be playing a little bit. Make sure
works.
that you can confirm those kills. It makes it easier. If nobody's shooting back at you, I mean, it's
Yeah.
easy to hit the buzzer.
Shut Up, Wolfpack still doubled up at home, which is a really risky proposition with a mini temple, but
They play it well, though. That's something that I see them at our home field at Battle Creek Paintball do all the time. And that is Chris Kutzler and Kyle Paluski. They do that all the time back home, and they really dialed it in. They've been playing together for got to be over a decade at this point. So really loving that launch up the center, looking backwards to talk to the team, making sure the communication goes across for Wolfpack, and really making sure that this is a team effort. Nobody's trying to be a hero here. So, and Shut Up, We're Trying still, once again, when they lost that point before, in those back 3 bunkers. It's a great place to cross it up, but like you're able to give up a lot of ground.
yeah.
Wolfpack doesn't have to play it fast to go up the field, especially by taking that center brick and then crawling up to the center wedge. And watch him, he's going to shoot out that tower.
Any
Yep,
temple's
once
gonna
again.
die. Home
It's
is
going to be the
next.
home. Yep, and it's going to be closing out the guy in the snake 1. Oh, here comes the pit.
Look at the, would
Yep.
you dare say Wolfpack of players trying to finish that one out?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
So strong game from Wolfpack. Early game kills, finishing out the mid. Great movement in the middle of that game. They were showing no fear about taking their secondary and third bumps. I like that Wolfpack has figured out what a lot of teams haven't really yet, which is that if you can get to the other team's brick, crawl into their wedge, their snake side wedge, and you can just blow them off. The neutron bomb just goes off at that point.
So I think a big thing for that is that they recognize that they're up bodies. That is
Yeah.
the right time to do it. They're not forcing it to try to get a kill. They already know that they have bodies wide. They can start containing, and that they can risk one body to go get that kill. Because even if he only traded, he completely remove the D side, and it's going to open up their snake side to start moving up the field. I think the issue for Shut Up or Trying right now is that they play conservatively, but they're losing their wide guys, and
Yeah.
now they're stuck.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. They were absolutely stuck in a pocket on the back there. There is a little bit of an outlet on this field that you can go up the middle if you feel you're stuck in the pocket, but nonetheless,
But you're down bodies, are you
Yeah.
going to really launch somebody up the center?
you're in trouble.
So conservative breakout for Shock, sending it to, I believe, that mini W and then just those 3 back bunkers, while Murdagoons is losing a body, but they're up in the snake.
That was not a great death there for the Goon. He ran right into a stream that was waiting for him. I don't love the decision making on that. We've all done it.
And it happens to the best of us, but they're in great position up the middle of the field and in the snake. They've taken more ground, so, I mean, you lost a body, but you're in great position to start dinking out people. So,
if I'm the Goons coach, I'm going to start dialing up more and more aggressive game plans because honestly, they've had a tough day so far. I think you just need to start sowing chaos. And if you're playing a superior team and you can sow chaos into the equation, your odds go up.
Yep.
I like this. Goons cross the 50. He's going to look for the kill. If there's nothing, he goes right into a gun waiting for him.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure there's a guy at that center brick too, so if he tries coming around, he's going to get smoked. So it's, I believe, 5-on-3 for Shock. I mean, Murdagoons is in a pretty solid place, like spread across the field. Oh, he needs to hit that shot. He's got to. I mean, Murdagoons had a great chance to shoot that front snake player for Shock, and he gunned down, not reloading while he's shooting, and he missed the opportunity. That would have been a crucial kill for them.
That's a good learning lesson if you're at home. If you can reload with your gun still up and still shooting, do that. Rather than putting your gun down at the ground to reload, you give the other team an opportunity to go right through a lane, and that's going to be it for Goons.
Yeah, they're just getting walked off the field at this point.
All right, Goons having a rough day. Things are not really working, and that's why I say if you're the coach of the Murdagoons, I think it's time to start dialing up some interesting stuff because just playing straight-up ball is not really working for you so far today. Granted, you're playing some tough teams. You know, you're not taking on any cupcakes here at the semi-pro level.
No, not at all. So I believe the score is 2-1 for Wolfpack.
Great question. We do not have our scoreboard on screen right now, so I'm not sure.
All right, starting from the top. Everybody's out there. It's great to see for Shove. We're trying. And staying real conservative, Shove. We're trying and going up the center, going 2 up the center, understanding that they're losing. Oh, no, but they're losing the second guy up the center after the late launch. That's a big kill for Wolfpack. But once again, Shut Up, We're Trying. They're stuck in the pocket. Even though they're at that 50 brick, they're still only in the center of the field. They got nobody wide. That gives Wolfpack an opening to try to take those little bumps up the side and start getting better angles on them.
So historically speaking, I would say Shut Up We're Trying has been a fairly conservative breakout team. Over the last few years, they've tended to be the team not taking wild risks going out. But if you're not taking wild risks and you're losing players on the breakout, you're in a lot of trouble, right? So if you want to take risks and lose a body here and there, that's fine. But if you're not taking risks and you're losing those bodies anyways, now you've given up a bunch of ground and you've lost bodies, and that's not a formula.
Well, also a big thing that you forgot to mention is that if you're going to take these conservative breakouts with 4 or 5 guns up, you got to get a kill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they're not getting that early kill, so they're allowing them to take ground and really control the pace of the game. You know, it turns into more hiding for them.
You're absolutely correct. If you're dedicating a lot of guns to the breakout shooting, you better get kills because you're giving up territory to do it.
So, and with Wolfpack being up, I mean, it's only 1 point, but it's their ball game. They don't need to rush anything. They're up bodies. They can slow things down. They can try to just dink out players and play it real methodically. They're in the driver's seat, and they know it. They just got to play smart. Oh, so it's 2-2, so we're tied up. I mean, I'd love to see Wolfpack continue to spread the field. You know what I mean? I'm a big Wolfpack fan, personally. Good friends with them. Known these guys for forever. I mean, they won a couple of events in the past. They've been going pretty well in semi-pro, but they're in a position where they can take a win off of a top team in semi-pro. That's really going to boost the confidence, and especially, I believe this is their first match of the event.
Wolfpack is going to lose their Snake Dorito. That's due to number 22 here for Shut Up We're Trying up the middle in that brick. Wolfpack has the brick themselves, so I could see Shut Up We're Trying perhaps rolling a body here and trading out. I would be okay with that.
So the only issue with that is you trade out 2 center players, and they're not in a position across the back line. Because if you see how they're postured, they're sitting for good.
Yeah,
they are not looking to move.
When you see knees on the ground, that's a player that's not getting ready to move.
Exactly. The only person that I can see that might potentially move is their snake side can, but really he's standing up because he's going back and forth.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to communicate and check off certain lanes, especially on that D side.
If this can for Shut Up or Trying can just get gun dominance on the mini tempo opposite him for just a second, that would be enough for him to dive into the snake. But he needs to be confident in winning gun dominance.
Yeah, but
right there.
I mean, Wolfpack playing the D side, they're playing slow, methodical. They know that home is going to be shooting at them. But all he has to do right now is basically put him in. Because it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, their D side temple for Shut Up We're Trying is shooting across the center. But Shut Up We're Trying miss it. Oh, does he get it? Oh, great move by Shut Up We're Trying. Recognizing and seeing the pump out of the snake player. And then
I don't like his follow-up, which was to run sideways with a gun 3 feet from him.
I don't think he knew that, that Wolfpack had that center player. But it looks like Shut Up We're Trying is trying to get that bounce shot off the temple into the center. I don't think he has it.
This is going to sound like a criticism, and I don't mean it like that. I really do mean this as general advice for any teams playing out here. You should operate on the assumption that that middle brick of your opponent is going to be hot 24/7. It just operate on that assumption because it's so easy to get to and it's so vital to this field. You should make every move on this field assuming that middle brick is hot.
I fully agree with that. Unless you know where all the bodies are on the field and you know that it's open, like it's one of those things. Every layout has one of those bunkers. Like you have to assume that somebody's in there and looking at a specific zone.
Now there's a drop back by Shut Up We're Playing in the snake.
I mean, they recognize that it's only three bodies left, and if you look at him, the guy in the snake, he's picking up paint off the ground.
You're right.
I mean, he's got to be in a place where he can tactically retreat, or he's got to be far enough up the field where he knows that he can trade.
Well, now, so here's the alternative. If you're out of paint, if you got 2 balls in your hopper, that's the time you don't sit back. That's the time where you start flying upfield. Take big risks is what, you're not going to win 40-yard gunfights with 3 balls in your hopper.
Yeah, but also at the same time, it's 2-2. They're down bodies, and you make a run and a zone is being covered, and you give them an easy kill. You're basically throwing out the point.
It's risky, but make your bumps and draw guns. So that's just my philosophy. I come from an older hero ball era of paintball, which wasn't as smart, but was just a little bit more flying by the seat of your pants. So I tend to favor aggression when you can't do much else.
Oh, but I mean, now that we hear 60 seconds, their team is definitely looking at the clock, knowing that the clock is running down. They're in a position where if they lose, whoever loses this point, you need to make a quick point. Shut Up We're Trying is definitely in a position, especially with how low paint they are, they'd rather bring this into overtime.
I think at this point, under a minute, if you lose this point, you're going to lose this match. I think you do. I think you go full defense mode right at this moment. You cannot afford to lose this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Wolfpack right now. It's a little bit tough to see them because the scoreboard is in the way of our vision. But it looks like they're in the same position. They also don't have a lot of paint. Unless they're going to be in a position where they can get a easy kill because they snuck up the field, which I don't believe so because I don't really see anybody over on the snake side because they're in the center brick, I believe Dorito 1, and then that D side Aztec. Everybody's just playing defense. It seems that everybody just wants to go into overtime. Let's restart this.
There it is. Yeah, Shut Up We're Trying snake player turned into a full-on field farmer. He was picking up every ball he could find. That was tough to watch.
I mean, he's prepping for the worst.
Yeah. I like to call that second strike. Instead of first strike, it's second strike. Paint you pick up at the field and you send down to the other team. Ask for it. Ask for it at your local field. Second strike. Very popular, especially with rental players. They love picking up paint off the ground.
Oh, they destroy guns.
Oh, my God. How many rental guns get just destroyed by paint being picked up on the ground? Hey, thank you to Paintball for Purpose, one of the sponsors of this show. Paintball for Purpose tries to help any players that need help with mental issues or depression or even anything that they can help with. They're here for it. So thank you to them. You'll see their names on some of the bunkers out here. They've actually sponsored it to the point where they've got bunkers on the field with Paintball for Purpose. All right, Shock with a 3-1 lead. 9.5 of the clock. That's a ton of time. Shock is going to lose their middle player. He's probably going to get a flag.
Yep.
Yeah, he was playing on for long enough. That's going to earn him a minor.
And they lose their center and their whole D side, essentially. But Smart fill out. Taking a big bite. Taking a huge bite, actually. And Murdagoons losing a center body. Like a shot going all the way up to that 40 Dorito, that 50 Dorito. Just in the chaos, just going to work.
If this was 1998, Rob, I would say that was a player with a hit on them that was going to try to do a bunch of damage before the rest got to him. That doesn't go on much anymore, but back in the day, if you saw a player go suicide mode, it was probably because they had a hit, and they were just going to do something.
I mean,
Great movement.
As you see it, he had the awareness. He saw bodies coming off the field.
Yeah.
He knew that he had to fill out. As he's seeing bodies off the field, it means zones are being dropped, and that is the time to take a bigger bite and take advantage. And it worked for him.
And he took bite after bite after bite. He was fearless going up that sideline.
And what I like about those bites, he took them in pieces.
Yep.
I'm going out to the corner. Okay, it's open.
Heads
I'm
up.
Going up the Dorito. 1, 2, 3. Taking a stop at 3. Seeing where we are. Going up to the 50 Dorito. Nobody still sees me. We're up bodies. I'm in a position where I can trade with the snake eye. And there's only going to be, what, one body left? Because I'm paying attention to the rest of the field and I'm listening to my team. That is team paintball.
So I think also he's probably going off audio cues. You make that bump into a bunker, you pause for a split second. If you don't hear any paint hitting your bunker, you know the other team hasn't seen you because they're going to shoot at you if they see you move. So I suspect, like you said, his smart bumps, partly he's taking auditory clues about whether or not his bunker's taking any fire. Great movement. Well played. All right, after this, we are then moving into WNXL action. We're going to take a little bit of a lunch break. You're going to see Heroines take on Baltimore Nevermores and Femmes Fatale, winner of the last tournament, taking on Tiki's Ohana.
So we're going into this overtime point now. What do you think is going to happen?
I hate to say it, but I think Shut Up or Try is going to come out with a conservative breakout. The problem is if they don't get kills, that's going to lose them the point. If they're going to go conservative, they got to get kills on the breakout.
So do you think they're going to try to send somebody up the center? That's
yes.
the risk?
I think that's not even a risk. I think this field is so easy to move up the center. I've so rarely seen somebody shot going up the middle. It's happened a few times, but it's pretty low risk. I think you send somebody up to this middle brick at almost every single point.
I think it's got to be immediate, though, because as we saw in that point before, like the guy that delayed up, he's the one that got clipped because Wolfpack was already able to get out.
All right, here we go. There we go. Shut Up, we're trying 3 at home.
And Wolfpack,
now
3
into
at
the
the back
snake.
center, one of them in that dead zone, getting a key kill out of the snake, getting a wide guy. Oh, no, Wolfpack losing the guy going up the center.
Throws their body away. Back to 4 and 4.
You got to get into a bunker. You get the kill, you got to get up there. You got to get in.
Tell me if this looks familiar. Shut Up, we're trying very slow to move out of that double up at home. They do it, though. They're up to the middle brick. Kind of a pocket play for Shut Up, we're trying. Wolfpack also still doubled up at home.
And see, making a clean move into that mini W, not trying to make the force all the way up to the center. All he just needs to do is like take one bump. Take a bump at a time. Slowly get up there. Realistically, he can probably crawl into that snake eye wedge if he wants, and then crawl all the way up to the center brick.
I think that's an easy route. And then, you know what? As we say it, that's what he's doing. Into that inside wedge. He's going to wrap around, look for a kill down the tape line. I don't think he's going to see much to shoot at. I think his next move should be drop and crawl.
Yeah, but he's in a position where he can talk to a snake guy who's in that snake 2 and say, hey, what do you need? What do you see? What's better use of my gun? So, and even still, while he might not be shooting at anybody from that wedge, he's covering off his own. I'm making sure that nobody can get wide, especially since they're all pocketed in the center, even though they have that one that center guy up the field for shove or try. They're never going to be able to get out of that Aztec, or that's the game plan.
Shut Up, we're trying at this point needs to just win some gunfights. That's their best chance to pulling this out because, like you said, they're in a tough position to take their secondaries right now. So Wolfpack kind of has guns up advantage on them.
And taking the big bite from the home up to the center brick, I mean, that's exactly what he needs to be doing. So, but the question here is, does he take another bite or does he try to even just like wrap around to shoot that D side Aztec? Because as soon as he knows that he can put him in, he's able to get into that brick. But realistically, he needs to be able to get in that brick, and he needs to get in there hidden. As soon as he's seen, most likely Shut Up, we're trying. They're gonna launch from that that center. Oh no, coming in.
Hopper hit for Shut Up, we're trying mini temple. Now they're gonna lose their can.
They lost 2.
Yeah, that's brutal. So
I mean, they're playing it slow.
Nobody's looking Dorito side for shut up. We're trying.
Ivan Gonzalez going up the D side, starting to close things out, and everybody running up the center. Play it smart. Nobody needs to hit the buzzer. It's overtime.
Yep.
There's plenty of time. Get checked out by your teammates, and let's make sure that we get the W.
All right, well played by Wolfpack. Oh, we're getting the golf stroke by the Wolfpack player in the center.
Honestly, he definitely needs to do it. He needs to work on his golf game. I've seen it.
You know him? Okay. Shade being thrown here from the webcast booth.
Nothing but love for Ivan Gonzalez. Nothing but love.
We're up on the second story, Gonzalez. Come and try to get us. we could defend this webcasting tower to our death.
So we're going into X-Ball. Shock versus Murdagoons. 8 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock. If I'm Murdagoons, I mean, you got to get creative. But also at the same time, if you win this point, you know that there's a lot of time on the clock. Tons of time on the clock to start pulling that comeback.
Yeah, very, very winnable match if they can pull this one. Again, if they lose this point, you're down 4 points. There's still plenty of clock time, but that's an awful situation to come back, a 5-1 deficit. All right, rostered up for Murdagoons, by the way, is Paige Vassar, one of the WNXL players you're going to see later today. I have not seen her on the field yet. Maybe I haven't noticed. That might be her in the middle home.
It looks like Shock took a bounce at the home. But Shock also losing a player early. I mean, that puts Murdagoons in a great place to start making moves up the field. But if you see, Shock is also in that 50 snake wedge, just taking a lot of ground. If he's able to get that kill on their D-side Aztec, I mean, he'll be able to play in that bunker all day. But he gives up the zone and lets Murdagoons fill out.
Yeah.
Not fully sure if I agree with that for Shock.
Goons really starting to take their secondaries, push up the middle by Shock into that brick, as is the norm. Goons 5 alive, good for them. That's been a struggle early on in the games, losing bodies on gunfights. They're playing a clean game on this one. We're now at about 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, and they're spread out across the field real nicely in a position that, depending on where they get a kill from Murdagoons, they can start putting more pressure somewhere.
So Shock has made it into that wedge over there on their snake side. I don't think anybody on the Murdagoons has picked up on it. Totally unaware.
Actually, I don't believe that's true, because when he went up there, Murdagoons was in that D-side Aztec shooting that zone. So I think they know that it's up there, but I don't know if the communication came across, and we'll see if Murdagoons takes a bump, but he's already shot out. Standing up tall, you gotta play tight, especially if you're down points.
Shock now crossing the 50 to the other team's middle brick. Again, I'm going to say I'm not sure anybody picked up on it. I'm looking at eyes all looking to the outside. Nobody's looking up the middle. Oh, there's a miner going to be dropped on Goons.
I think it's got to be for talking after the
I see.
He was
right.
already walking way down the field.
You're right.
It's got to be something silly.
Because they didn't pull another body. They pulled one body. You're right.
Yep. And it's a concede.
Ooh, I don't know if you have enough clock, and with this kind of score differential, that's a tough concession by Murdagoons.
So the question here is, do you do that, or do you see how quickly you could potentially win out the point?
I think with a score range that much, it was already a 3-point. Now it's a 4-point differential. I think you have to let your boys play it out. I just think you can't give up that much. This is a relatively slow finishing field. They're going to need to pull 4 points in 6.5 minutes. That 6.5 sounds like a lot. It's not for 4 points on this field. I don't know how I love that one. I might have waited a little bit longer.
So the only thing is that if I'm Shock, I know I don't have to be a hero.
Oh no,
We're up by 3 at this point. It's kill 2. We're on their side of the field. In all honesty, if we want to, we could just play defense from here.
Yep.
And wait for them to give us the easy kills and just kill the clock. So if I'm Murdagoons, I'm recognizing that it's a 3-on-5, and they're so far up the field. They're in great positions to, as soon as you try to take a step outside of a bunker,
get blown up.
You're already blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I rather save the time. You know what I mean? At least put us in as best of a position as possible to try to win points from a clock standpoint, even though we're going to be down another point at a 4-point deficit.
It's a tough deficit. There is one single code, universal code that every single team uses.
Story time.
That's story time. And I think you're going to hear that in a minute. You're going to hear super story time here in a minute. Let's play a little game of how many pods does SUWT come out with? About 20 pods per player?
No. No pack even does that.
Yeah.
I think the highest volume pack right now is actually our pack, the Kinetic Modular pack, which we do 13 pods.
That was a smooth intro. That was a great segue, Rob.
I know what I'm doing.
This guy's a professional.
Just a little bit, just a tad. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that if you're going to be bringing out a lot of paint and you're going to be sitting, you kind of want your back to feel good.
Yep.
We have phenomenal lumbar support in our pack, and I'm pretty sure that we are the only company that uses a hard-ish thermoplastic so that it distributes the weight across the whole pack. I mean, I've had guys run to a corner with 13 pods, and it feels like you only got 4 pods on. I mean, it doesn't just save you from a physicality standpoint, but you don't get that bouncing around. You're able to keep yourself stable, especially with that much paint on your back. You're going to be a little bit wobbly if you have all that weight on your back, because if we're thinking 13 pods, you've got almost a case of paint on your back.
Which is about at least 10, 11 pounds for a half case?
At least.
So another thing, when you have those pods bouncing around like that, those are exactly the pods that I see the lids come open mid-run, and you lose your entire pod. All right, here we go. Goons on your right in a desperate situation, down 5-1, 6.5 on the clock. SUWT playing with house money here. SUWT being actually more aggressive up the middle.
I mean, they want the mercy roll at this point.
Oh, no, for the Goons, it just got worse. They're going to get a minor. They're going to lose their middle mini brick and their mini temple.
So 5-on-3, and it opens up the snake side for SUWT to take a big bite up into that snake 3.
That SUWT player just got hit in the pod, dropped the pod, and then turned to the ref for a check. He got away with it. That could have been a gross major. He got away with one there. Good for him. Good for number 7.
I would be lying if I said that I didn't pull that same exact one.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You take a hit in the pod, you drop the pod quick. Like a gun at a crime scene. You just drop that thing, get away from it.
Yeah. So it's 4-on-3 for SUWT. The question here is, do we start trying to push the advantage that you have up bodies, or do we just kind of sit and play a little bit of defense until we get another kill, and then we start pushing the advantage?
I mean, the generic answer for SUWT is you dig in your heels, you fill some sandbags, and you just make them come at you. However, when you're up 5-1, hell, your players can do whatever they want. Because you're not going to lose 4 games in a row. That's an extremely unlikely situation. So your SUWT players, if I'm the coach, I'm going to be like, go have fun. Don't get a major. Go have fun. We're going to win this match.
But at the same time, you got to think big picture.
Point differential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We play for the event, and then it's a concede
Whoa.
for the mercy.
What are you thinking? Why you don't concede? Yeah, you just concede into a mercy.
I think they're saving paint, they're saving their guy to not get bunkered because they know that the hammer's about to come down.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the only 2 things that make sense.
Well, or they lost track of the situation. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. That's a tough one.
At this level,
they shouldn't.
Exactly.
Now, interestingly, I see a lot of the roster. I go through all the rosters before the event for semi-pro and W1XL. A lot of the teams don't list a coach. I can't imagine they're not playing with a coach at this level. But a lot of these teams don't have a coach listed. So maybe they're just having a player coach that's kind of volunteering, and he lost track of the situation. I don't know. All right. Well, congratulations, SUWT. You looked dominant. Shut Up We're Trying had a tough run here. I'm bringing them up specifically because I want to take a shout-out to a Shut Up We're Trying player who is not here today. That's Logan Hansel. He is in a hospital right now awaiting the birth of his first son. It may be happening as we speak. So
congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations to Logan. Thank you so much for being here, Rob. I had a great time.
Would love to come back.
You're welcome to come back.
Anytime.
Take my job. You're prime for it.
I don't want to go that far. I don't want to go that far.
All right, for the viewers at home, thank you so much for joining us here in Cincinnati. We are going to take a little bit of a lunch break, and then we are going to come back with W and XL action. Thank you so much for being here with us. See you soon.